Cruyff was a personality.
You couldn't get it. It was almost impossible.
He's changed football.
He did a lot of things on the pitch that I could not do.
Johan is the most influential figure in European football over the last 40 or 50 years.
Who is the greatest footballer of all time?
Johan Cruyff.
Johan. Gracias, Johan. Johan Cruyff.
Johan Cruyff.
A footballing culture that began with Cruyff.
His abilities were so unbelievable.
Both as a player and later as a coach, he was a true benefactor of football.
Cruyff, wacht, kijkt en binnen.
He didn't just play football. He changed the way football was played. A genius of technique, vision, and intelligence. A player who made the impossible look effortless. Johan Cruyff became more than a legend. He became the DNA of modern Barcelona. A footballer who could never be replicated. Now, hear what the greatest players and legends had to say about Johan Cruyff.
I don't know if he changed it, but he certainly had a huge influence. That's for sure. He was a massive star and my hero. Then he became my coach, my friend, and my mentor. I had many conversations with him, and they were always incredibly insightful. It was a great experience working with him.
A coach and a player on the same time on the pitch. His abilities were so unbelievable.
You played with him, didn't you, in his last season?
Yes, he was 38, I think.
Yeah.
And I played with him at Feyenoord. That was for me luck that I had that opportunity to play with him.
Daar is Cruyff zelf met de gelijkmaker. Schrijvers is uitgespeeld.
Was one of my idols when I was a kid, because he was not much older than I was, and he did a lot of things on the pitch that I could not do.
You think, wow, but he said that years and years, and he's so far ahead of everybody in the game at that stage. And he was almost like, people talk about a coach on the pitch as a player. There's a few players who can maybe have that label. But I don't think anybody could have ever been more a coach on the pitch than probably your dad when he was sort of playing, and just listening to him. It just fascinates me.
But what I most admire about him, he never brought football home. He never brought stress home. He lost the final against Milan 4-0.
Yep.
The Champions League final. Came home and you didn't notice anything.
He's changed football. There are two periods in football, broadly speaking. There's BC, before Cruyff, and after. He changes everything.
He changed everything. As a player, he was revolutionary. As a coach, he changed the game again. Cruyff didn't just create attacking football. He helped define how modern football is played.
I joined when I was 11 years old. It was the golden era of the Dream Team. Cruyff had arrived in 1988 or 1989, and I joined in 1991. By then, Barcelona had already won a league title, and people were already calling that team the Dream Team. So for us, those players were the ultimate role models. It felt like being part of the best club in the world. It's true that the Barca DNA, as we call it, has remained the same for many years, ever since Cruyff arrived at Camp Nou. The philosophy has always been about having the ball, controlling possession, controlling matches through that possession, and creating goal-scoring opportunities.
We can talk about Johan Cruyff for 1 hour, 2 hours, but if I had to pick one thing was different from all the other managers, coaches I've had in my whole career.
Well, it's true that what Johan Cruyff achieved, not only as a player but also as a coach, was to completely change our mentality. We went from being a club with a negative mindset, a club that always seemed to fall short and lose the championships, to having a winning mentality. Johan changed the mindset of Barcelona's members and supporters. He made us believe that we could win, that we could compete, that we could achieve anything.
We're talking about one of the real greats of the game. The word great, the word legend, sometimes is used a little bit loosely, and there are one or two greats, there are one or two legends, and Johan Cruyff was one of those.
Sotil, combinar amb Cruyff. Cruyff a l'interior de l'àrea, retalla dels contraris, Cruyff continua, Cruyff! Gol, 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 gol!
Both as a player and later as a coach, he was a true benefactor of football. The game was able to evolve so much thanks to him and to the Dutch school of football.
All these players who are not that big, but they have bony, you know.
Yeah.
And every time you go They
hurt you. Wiry.
And he was so quick in the first 5 yards. It was unbelievable. You couldn't get him.
Johan is the most influential figure in European football over the last 40 or 50 years. There is no other person who has given so much to football, both as a player and as a coach. But it was truly a boom, a revolution. Barcelona had been struggling on the footballing side, going through a difficult period, almost like wandering through the desert after years without winning anything.
He'll try one on his own, and he scored one on his own. Oh yes, that was so simple.
I was 5 years old when we won the Champions League, our first European Cup at Wembley against Sampdoria. I remember watching the match from Barcelona at my grandparents' house. Koeman's goal in extra time. It's living history, isn't it? It's part of the story of what this club has become. The Spanish national team has relied heavily on Barcelona players in recent years. And if you go further back, you can trace it all to the philosophy of Johan Cruyff. Without a doubt, he is the most important figure in the recent history of Barcelona and also in the history of the Spanish national team.
He was on a revenge. He was treated badly by Ajax, so came to the enemy Feyenoord in order to put things right. And he did, because we won the championship and the cup. But he was there only for revenge. Can you imagine, he was 38, so it was not easy for him.
He changed the history of football, and that's something far too important not to emphasize.
Is Johan Cruyff very important then for you, obviously, as a coach, but also as the big father?
No, of course,
mentor?
of course, a little bit, yes, because it was the first one, so it's difficult to arrive here and say, okay, you have to play in that way, in these different aspects, no?
He didn't just become a great coach. He inspired the coaches who came after him. His ideas shaped Pep Guardiola, who has always regarded Cruyff as his footballing mentor, a visionary manager, whose influence as a coach went far beyond what anyone could imagine.
You can hear so many people talk about what Johan means to them and what he has meant throughout their lives. The number of people he has inspired, not only as a person but also as a manager, a coach, and a player, is simply extraordinary. His influence is truly unmatched. Johan Cruyff was one of the most important figures in my football life. I first encountered him when I was very young, and even then, his presence was intimidating because he was such a huge name. Later, he became the man who helped guide me toward the first team and shaped my understanding of the game. Johan Cruyff was an extraordinary footballer, one of the greatest Europe had ever produced. He could control a match in a way very few players could. He wasn't simply a great player, he changed the way football was played and understood.
So therefore it was easy for him, when he had the ball, he had time. Nobody could get him. So therefore he had time all the time to point it. And he had his character. And you know the Dutchies, they think they know everything.
Very confident people.
Yes.
Johan changed the mentality of FC Barcelona, the Barcelona we know today, which has dominated Europe and the world over the last 10 or 15 years, simply cannot be understood without his arrival and his influence. He was a coach with a very clear philosophy. Whenever you played against a weaker opponent, a team of a lower level, he would put a lot of pressure on the players and demand a very high level of intensity. Johan Cruyff was fundamental to the way Barcelona understands football today. His ideas changed the club and influenced generations of players. What he created went far beyond winning matches. He created a footballing philosophy that players like us were fortunate enough to inherit. Johan Cruyff left an enormous legacy at Barcelona. His ideas became part of the identity of the club and influenced generations of players. For Messi's generation, that philosophy was already part of Barcelona's DNA, a footballing culture that began with Cruyff.